Have you ever wondered what the world was like before the Great Flood? It seems like a distant, mythical time, shrouded in mystery. But the Bible offers a glimpse into this fascinating era, a world unlike our own. Step back in time, to the early chapters of Genesis, and enter the Antediluvian period, the world before the flood. Imagine a world where people like Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel walked the earth. These were more than just characters from a story. They were real people living extraordinary lives. One of the most striking things about this era was the lifespan. People lived for hundreds of years, far exceeding our current expectations. This longevity may have been due to factors like a purer environment or a closer connection to God. Humanity enjoyed a closeness to the divine that we can only imagine today. But this idyllic existence wasn't meant to last. As we delve deeper into the story, we'll discover how things began to change, leading up to the cataclysmic event that forever altered the course of history, the Great Flood. So, join us on this journey as we explore the Antediluvian period, uncover the lives of its inhabitants, and discover the secrets of this lost world. However, this idyllic existence wasn't without its challenges. The Bible tells us of a pivotal event that cast a long shadow over humanity, the rebellion of the fallen angels. As the book of Job describes, even before the creation of the world, the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Job chapter 38 verse 7. These sons of God were not human, but celestial beings, angels created by God. Tragically, not all angels remained faithful. But there was a day when the members of the heavenly court came to stand before the Lord, and Satan came among them. Job chapter 1 verse 6. Driven by pride and ambition, Satan, once a revered angel, led a rebellion against God. This act of defiance shattered the harmony of the heavens and introduced the concept of evil into the universe. The Bible doesn't explicitly detail Satan's motives, but we can glean some insights from his actions throughout Scripture. His rebellion seems driven by a desire for power and control, a twisted desire to take over God's rightful authority. This rebellion would have profound consequences, not only for the angelic realm but also for humanity, as we'll see in the coming chapters. While the fallen angels' rebellion played out in the heavenly realm, its effects trickled down to humanity. God had placed Adam and Eve in the perfect paradise of the Garden of Eden, entrusting them with its care. However, this idyllic existence faced its first test with the arrival of the serpent, a cunning symbol of Satan himself. As the serpent slithered towards Eve, he initiated the first temptation humanity would ever face. He questioned God's instructions, planting seeds of doubt and enticing Eve with the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Sadly, Eve gave in to the temptation, and in turn, convinced Adam to partake as well. This act of disobedience had dire consequences. Adam and Eve were expelled from the Garden of Eden, losing their direct connection with God and facing the world's harsh realities outside. The once perfect harmony between humanity and their Creator was torn apart. The fallout from Eden continued to ripple through generations. The story of Cain and Abel tragically illustrates the growing darkness in the world. Jealousy and anger festered within Cain, ultimately leading him to commit the first murder, slaying his own brother Abel. This act of violence marked a further descent from the original innocence enjoyed by humanity. Following the expulsion from Eden and the tragedy of Cain and Abel, humanity stood at a crossroads. But amidst the darkness, God offered a glimmer of hope. After the loss of Abel, Eve gave birth to Seth, who the Bible describes as being appointed by God in place of Abel, Genesis chapter 4 verse 25. This indicates that Seth, unlike Cain, followed a righteous path, rekindling the hope for a future aligned with God's will. Meanwhile, Cain's descendants, though not explicitly characterized as evil, pursued a different path. They achieved notable advancements, with figures like Jabal becoming the father of those who live in tents, raising livestock, and Tubal-Cain, the father of those who make all kinds of bronze and iron tools. These advancements demonstrate the ingenuity and innovation present in this lineage. However, despite their achievements, Cain's descendants continued to diverge from the path of righteousness. The Bible hints at increasing violence and moral decline within this lineage, culminating in the figure of Lamech, a descendant of Cain who, according to Scripture, took 2 wives and exhibited a callous disregard for human life. In stark contrast, Seth's descendants remained faithful to God. This lineage eventually gave rise to Noah, the righteous man chosen by God to build the ark and usher humanity into a new era. The contrasting paths of these two family lines serve as a powerful illustration of the choices humanity faced in the antediluvian world and the consequences that followed. As generations passed, the world before the flood witnessed a gradual descent into wickedness and sin. The Bible paints a stark picture of humanity's growing estrangement from God. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of their hearts was only evil continually. Genesis chapter 6 verse 5. This pervasive evil manifested in various forms, from violence and corruption to moral decay and idolatry. While humanity still possessed the extraordinary lifespans characteristic of the antediluvian period, this longevity couldn't shield them from the consequences of their choices. The connection with God, once a defining characteristic of the early generations, began to fade, replaced by a growing disregard for divine principles. As Enoch's story unfolds, a glimmer of hope emerges amid the prevailing darkness. Described in the Bible as a man who walked with God, Enoch lived a life of exceptional righteousness and devotion. His unique relationship with God culminated in him being taken away by God without experiencing death. Enoch's story serves as a testament to the possibility of remaining faithful even in the face of widespread sinfulness, offering a glimpse of the alternative path humanity could have chosen. While humanity enjoyed extraordinary lifespans and advancements, their choices led them down a path of increasing wickedness. The story of Enoch, however, offers a beacon of hope, demonstrating the possibility of remaining faithful even in the darkest of times. As the antediluvian world descended further into darkness, a new element entered the scene: the Nephilim. These enigmatic figures are mentioned in Genesis chapter 6 verse 4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came to human women and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. The identity of the sons of God in this passage has been a subject of much debate and interpretation. Some scholars believe they refer to righteous descendants of Seth, while others interpret them as fallen angels. This latter interpretation connects the Nephilim to the earlier story of the fallen angels' rebellion, suggesting that these beings interacted with human women, further corrupting humanity. Regardless of the precise interpretation, the presence of the Nephilim is associated with a dramatic increase in violence, wickedness, and moral decay. The Bible describes a world filled with giants who were mighty men of old and men of renown. However, their renown stemmed not from righteous deeds but from acts of violence and corruption. This further fueled the downward spiral of humanity, pushing them further away from God's intended path. While the exact nature of their influence remains open to interpretation, their presence undoubtedly contributed to the escalating moral decline that ultimately led to the cataclysmic event of the flood. The escalating wickedness of humanity did not go unnoticed by God. The Bible, in Genesis chapter 6 verse 6, expresses the depth of God's grief. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. This verse paints a powerful picture of a God who, despite his immense power, experiences sorrow and regret at the choices made by his creation. Faced with the pervasive evil and corruption that had consumed the world, God made the agonizing decision to bring about the flood. As Genesis chapter 6 verse 7 states, "The Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, and with them the animals, the birds of the air, and the creatures that move on the ground, because I regret that I have made them." This decision, while seemingly harsh, stemmed from God's desire to cleanse the world and create an opportunity for a fresh start. In spite of the dark situation, a beacon of hope emerged in the form of Noah. Described in Genesis chapter 6 verse 8 as a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. Standing in stark contrast to the prevailing wickedness, Noah embodied unwavering faith and obedience to God's instructions. The Bible, in Genesis chapter 6 verse 22, emphasizes his unwavering commitment. So Noah did everything just as God commanded him. This verse underscores Noah's complete trust in God, even when faced with the seemingly impossible task of building an ark to survive a global flood. God provided Noah with specific instructions for building the ark, outlining its dimensions and purpose. As described in Genesis chapter 6 verses 14 to 16, the ark was to be a massive vessel made of gopher wood and coated in pitch to ensure its watertightness. Its specific measurements, 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, were meticulously outlined, demonstrating the immense scale of this undertaking. Building such a colossal structure in the absence of an impending flood naturally drew criticism and ridicule from Noah's contemporaries. Imagine the skepticism and disbelief he must have encountered as he embarked on this seemingly absurd task. Yet, Noah remained steadfast in his faith, undeterred by the judgmental whispers and mocking laughter. God's instructions to Noah extended beyond the construction of the ark. He also outlined who and what would be brought aboard this vessel of salvation. I will save from every living creature of every kind 2 of each to keep them alive with you, a male and a female. Of the birds of the air, according to their kinds, and of the livestock according to their kinds, and of every creeping thing of the ground, according to its kind, 2 of every kind shall come to you to keep them alive. Genesis chapter 6 verses 19 to 20. This intricate selection process ensured the preservation of various species and the continuation of life on earth after the flood. Noah's unwavering faith and obedience played a pivotal role in preserving life amidst the impending destruction. He meticulously followed God's instructions, building the ark to precise specifications and gathering the designated animals. Through his faithfulness, Noah not only ensured his own survival but also became the steward of a new beginning for humanity and the animal kingdom. The ark itself transcends its physical form, becoming a powerful symbol of hope and faith. It stands as a testament to the enduring power of trusting in God's plan, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. The ark serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope and redemption are always within reach for those who remain faithful. Our journey through the world before the flood has unveiled a fascinating, albeit complex, period in human history. We witnessed the extraordinary lifespans, the rebellion of the fallen angels, and the consequences of humanity's choices. We also encountered figures like Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and ultimately, Noah, a beacon of hope in a world consumed by darkness. This glimpse into the antediluvian world is just the beginning. The full story unfolds within the pages of the Bible, offering deeper insights into the characters, motivations, and the profound lessons embedded within this narrative. With that said, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more thought-provoking content on faith, history, and culture. Remember, sharing is caring, so spread the word and let's continue this journey together.